I said we live.
Oh, hey y'all. My bad. I was still shaking my ass.
Oh, Lord. Being ratchet in the streets.
If you know me, then you know.
I thought you were gonna say something about clap your hands. I don't know. Alrighty. Folks tuning in, say hello, hello, hello.
Hello. How are you?
Say hello, but not like that.
I thought it was cute.
Mm-mm. Say hello, hello, hello.
Hello. How are you?
Oh my God. You sound worse than that woman with a look.
Stop it. No.
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 Okay, I'm going to the countdown. For those who have joined so far,
say hello before she get us booted. Go.
Hey, if you didn't get us booted for your comment last week,
hey, don't bring up old stuff.
You gonna call me out, I'm gonna call you out. I thought I was gonna delete the whole video messing with you. Anywho, here we go. If y'all have joined, say hello and share. Thank you.
Hello. Welcome to Occasionally Posh, where we enjoy life, laughs, and shenanigans. I am your girl, Chassie B.
And I'm Sunshine. Welcome to another week. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate you guys so much. If you don't mind, please say hello in the comments so we know you here. Please comment along as we talk about all of these good shenanigans for the week. And please go like, share, subscribe, follow all of the action items that you can do on all of our social media platforms. All right. We already had one person. Oh, friend say hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
But we always start with a foreplay, and Chassie B is first. She got a story. I'm scared, y'all. Oh, let me take the pen off. Hold on.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all seen this meme going around says, "Stop what you're doing," and Google why chainsaws was invented. Me curious, I was like, I want to know. And being that it's National Women's Month, International Women's Month, whatever it is, I figured this right here would be interesting. So chainsaws were invented for childbirth. Let me see your face, Sunshine. For childbirth.
Explain a little further.
And so before it was invented, you know how babies, whenever they come out, they get stuck in the canal or whatever. So prior to that, doctors would use a small knife and a saw to remove, the bone. So like it's like a bone where they get stuck at, they would use a saw and a knife to remove everything. And there was no anesthesia back then. So the woman was fully awake and felt all the pain. So some good people in 1780, two doctors invented the chainsaw to make it easier and less time consuming. It was powered by a hand crank and looked like a modern day kitchen knife with little teeth on the chainsaw that wound in an oval. So it went like that. And that's how they would get the babies out.
Wow. Look, I'm
And
over here looking up a picture.
chainsaws were not actually used for wood or what we know it as using it for today until 1920.
Wow.
So prior to that, it was for like cutting bones and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so the thing that they used to, I'm not sure what exact bone they cut because I was looking for that to see what actual bone they cut, but I couldn't find it. But yeah,
Mm,
so that's what it was for. And that
wow.
was how it looked.
Wow. I wish they had a video. I want to see how it worked.
I don't. She
I
said,
ain't saying
"Listen."
I ain't say I wasn't I don't want to see it in action as it's working. I'm just saying I wanted to see, them crank it and
See how it go.
yeah. I ain't talking about seeing them chainsaw no coonch. I ain't talking about that.
Oof. Could you just imagine,
Mm,
like, no anesthesia, and you're fully alert, fully awake? I mean, more than likely, they probably passed out from the pain, but
that part.
still, like, a C-section hurts.
Very much so.
I could just imagine that.
Yeah, very much
I
so.
wouldn't have babies.
Nah, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it. Vern said, hello, 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 hello. Friend said, come again to your hot mess. Then she said, assault for what? I'm killing everybody in the room. Fast. Fast. And then she said, nope, no thanks. Rest in hell to them doctors. And then Ron, aka Daddy Ron, said, wow, I saw that, but I didn't Google it. Now I'm going to bed. I'm in my day, we called it a motor saw.
Now it's a chainsaw.
That's a chainsaw. That's a
But,
chainsaw. Yeah, nah, I passed. I'm glad I wasn't born. God knew when to birth me in the world. I tell you, He knew exactly. He made
child,
me pass all them inventions, past times when we didn't have no electricity, past slavery, all of that. He was like, sunshine ain't built for them days. I'm gonna
child.
build her put her in the 90s. I mean the 80s. Excuse me. I'm trying to make myself younger than I am. I'm putting myself up and put her out there in the 80s. He knew better. I'm talking about.
I'm glad I wasn't born during slavery because I don't like the way cotton feels. So I would have
No,
been.
we're not. That's all the bad things that happened during slavery. That's the one part people
I
gonna be worried
I
about.
have
It's the
a
cotton.
phobia of cotton. I do not like
Uh,
cotton balls.
I can understand that, but all the other stuff that was going on, I don't think cotton was gonna be a. I feel like that phobia wasn't a thing. Is all I'm saying.
That would have been the least of my worries.
That had been the least, okay, the
Oh
very
no.
least.
Ooh,
Friend agreed with
nipples.
me. Friend agreed with me. He said today we just cut the skin between the pumpkins and the anus. We leave the bone in place. That's true. The tank, what they call it out there in the ignorant world.
Never heard
They
of
just split.
pumpkins. She
Oh yeah,
said,
that's
"What
what.
make?" So, friend wants to know what makes me scared about cotton. I don't. So, you know how back in the day, whenever we had chalkboards, I don't like chalk either. Just FYI. But you know how whenever teachers they used to take their fingers and slide it down a chalkboard, and that feeling that your body would get. That's what
I don't like that either.
cotton balls does that to my whole body, and it makes my nipples hurt, and it feels like somebody is inside of my nipples with a needle trying to poke through my nipple. It hurts. And
That's
I don't like
very
velour and velvet
descriptive.
either.
That's very
It's just
descriptive.
ew.
All right, y'all. That was an interesting foreplay moment. For mine, I got another one. Gotta go. Okay, you ready? You
Mm-mm,
ready? You ready? Y'all ready
mm-mm,
watching? Y'all ready? All right.
mm-mm.
One gotta go. The Five Heartbeats. The Temptations. What's love got to do with it? And Color Purple. Which one would you keep first?
Oh, anime
Which one?
bullet all day.
Yeah, I don't watch. Well, I don't watch all these a lot of times, but yeah, I don't watch it a lot.
That one all day. It's
Mm.
staying.
What's
And
number
I'm
two?
probably about to lose my black card.
Oh Lord.
I've only seen Color Purple once. all the way
Once?
through. All the way through. I do not like the color purple.
No, friend, no. No, she said
She
David
said
Ruffin
David
got to
Ruffin got
go.
what?
No, you don't know me. Me and my family watched The Temptations about 2,100 times. I know every dance move, every song. I used to do a little walk with. I'm David Ruffin, and these are the Temptations. I had to agree with you on that.
But yeah, color purple for me has to go. Because it's just not one of my favorite movies.
I
It's
got it.
just
Yeah,
not.
I got it. I
No.
got it. Vern said the color purple stay. Friend said the color purple. I mean, David Ruffin got to go.
And
Uh,
she also kicked me out to black people. She said, "You out."
I
She kicked me out.
don't know. I don't know. This is so hard. Like all of these movies have really good moments and give me really good memories. I mean, a heart is a house for love. The little girl was in the chair like this. That's one of my favorite scenes of all times.
Yeah. Just go ahead and choose. Go ahead and throw color purple out. It's okay. You can be on my side.
I'm typically not on her side, but I may have to agree this week. Huh? Don't unsubscribe from us. Don't unsubscribe. I love the color purple. Don't get me wrong, especially Suge when she told her you was ugly. You sure is ugly. Then was kissing her in the mouth. I mean, it's got some good moments.
It does. It has some very good moments. However, I prefer all the other movies over the color purple.
I would watch all the other movies over color purple. I have to agree with her. Like I hate to do it, but because everybody know the color purple, everybody watch it, everybody know quotes from it. I get it. It's a staple in the community. I get it. But if I got these 4 DVDs sitting in front of me, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, the color purple is.
Me either. Me either.
But maybe that's because I'm a music person too, and the other ones got like mostly music in them.
Yeah, got
Maybe that's
the
why.
soundtracks are really good.
Yeah.
And that could be it for me because I like music as well. I'm not as much as a music head as you, but yeah.
Maybe that's why. But
Brandon kicked us out. She done kicked us out.
Don't do that. Don't
Our
do
black card that got revoked. We are no longer invited to the cookouts.
that. Oh man. Well, for those who are listening or just joined or listening later, the first foreplay was chainsaws were originally invented for childbirth, which I had no idea. And we did a One Gotta Go, which included the 5 Heartbeats, the Temptations, What's Love Got to Do with It, and the color purple. And me and Chaz actually agreed for once.
On March the 2nd, y'all mark this down in history.
We actually agreed.
Sunshine's birthday month. We finally agreed on something.
Right. We typically do not agree on that. But we actually did. We actually did. All right. So we're going to go into our topic segment. We got a few good stuff to talk about. I don't even know what order I'm going in tonight. Let's start with the church before we get too out there. Let's start with this church little. So someone, I should have had the actual post posted up, but someone had posted this letter that they had received from their ministry. And they pretty much sent her some money back and said that they were informing her that they unanimously decided that at the business card that her membership to her local church was being terminated. Let me slow down so I can talk, y'all. It says, since you refused to accept the letter that we sent you in November that outlined the reasons for this action, I will briefly review them here. So it says, you initiated the separation of your marriage, pretty much. Blase, I ain't gonna read the whole thing. Number 2, you have continued to post married, unchristian, and indecent pictures and messages on various social media sites. And then the third one was you have refused counsel or advice from your husband, your pastor, and many of your close church friends. And then it says it's taking that action to pretty much kick her out. I should have had her post up because I think she said she did reach out to them before she separated from her husband. I should have had it up, you guys.
Yeah.
But just initially on that thought, how do you feel about it, Chaz?
Um. Well, first of all, I'm surprised that they gave the money back. Churches don't typically give money back. I
That part.
I was a little shocked. So I was like, they pretty much done with
Mm.
her.
They done.
But I think that was very distasteful, and it put a salty taste in my mouth, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people stray away from the church, is because of things like this. Although this doesn't necessarily happen in this extreme at all churches, but
Mm-hmm.
something that's relatable to this happens at a lot of churches, and people see it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy. Just because somebody got a divorce,
Right. Well, just separation. They ain't even got divorced yet,
right?
but
But
yeah,
then
just a separation of it. Mm-hmm.
I went on to read some of her other posts because I was just curious.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that another guy had separated from his wife, and they welcomed him with open arms and was like, trying to console him and all this kind of stuff. And I don't understand why is there a double standard? Why is it okay for him to leave his wife? And if I'm not mistaken, I think his wife was remarried the next day, or either he was remarried the next day or next week,
Mm-hmm.
next month. It was like very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but why was it okay for them to separate from their spouse, but it's not okay for her to separate from her spouse?
Right. I mean, I just feel like, again, we have said this beforehand. We too busy. We supposed to just be guiding and leading and educating folks and lead them to Christ. We are not the deciding factor of what God decides to do to them. Like,
Right.
quit trying to play God. Like, everybody, we if everybody could really lead people the way they supposed to be led, and you wouldn't be out here being embarrassed about your son who out there hoeing on the street, or your daughter out there on that crack pipe. But guess what? You could teach people all day. They gonna do what they want to do.
All day. All day.
Quit trying to make people do stuff that I mean, just try to teach them, show them a way, keep being a good example, keep loving them, because the Bible say love is the biggest thing that you're supposed to do. How is this showing love?
Right. Exactly. And it just kind of made me think about that time whenever we were saying that we didn't think that pastors should be the people that counsel couples before they get married, because
Mm-hmm.
probably if they had went to a real therapist probably could have let them realize that they probably shouldn't have been married in the first place. And this was probably
Mm-hmm.
a marriage that wasn't supposed to happen, and they were
Mm-mm.
supposed to leave each other. I'm sick of people
Right.
thinking that people have to stay together because that's what the Bible says. But then there's also a lot of things in the Bible that people stray away from,
Yeah.
and they pick
Yeah.
and choose.
They pick and choose. That's facts. That's facts. And I used to question that all the time, growing up and seeing people in my family who had these failed marriages and things. And I'm like, I mean, I never strayed away from God because I always believed in him, and I always knew that he loved me and blase blase. But I used to be like, y'all ain't gonna sit here and tell me that they saying you saying your marriage is supposed to be to death to us part, but that might supposed to be marriage supposed to be death to us part with the person you supposed to be with.
Right.
Not sit in a marriage and be miserable and you ended up marrying somebody you weren't supposed to be with in the first place.
Right.
But even if that is the case, it's got to be it's an exception to every rule in life. So you
Right.
telling me God want me to be sitting here and get my butt whooped by my husband, and I'm supposed to stay with him to death to us part? Or
Because
being
that's what the
cheated
Bible
on
says.
left and right, and I'm getting tested every other week? Cause you know what I'm saying? Cause we supposed to be death to us part. Or he's slinging my child against the wall, but it's supposed to be the devil. I'm just y'all saying God love us. That ain't love. You ain't gonna tell me that's God's love. I don't care what
Right.
nobody say.
That God is
I
telling
just
you
don't
to get
believe
out. Get out.
it.
Go. Be free.
Right. Vern initially said he was signing out, but I guess he loved us because he said, "Cause we got rid of Nettie City." And then he said somebody that initiated that letter wants her, and she turned them down, and this is probably the pastor.
And I also wanted to point out, so she does TikToks, or she does TikToks or either Reels. I can't remember which one. It's either Facebook or TikToks. It might be both.
Mm-hmm.
But either the pastor or one of the deacons watches every video of her. And she showed proof of that on her page as well.
See, Pat
So,
Vern might be on to something.
right.
Might be on to something. Friend said my pastor don't teach that. If it ain't right, it got to. If it ain't right, it got to go. Point blank. Point blank. Vern said when the marriage is dead, that constitute death do us part. That's a good viewpoint. That is a good viewpoint.
Okay. I agree.
Okay, Minister Jordan. But she did she did respond and said, she did put on the post that I'm sorry, I'm trying to read it as I say it to y'all, which is not the proper way. But she did say she did reach out to them. I think you missed the point, especially when I came to you before I even left my husband looking for help. I'm good. I'm not even in a bad place. I'm actually in a very good place. Blah, blah, blah. And then she was kind of just saying, don't judge. Just other people there who jacked up for the most part. Blah, blah, blah. Which we all know every church got jacked up people. But
right.
The point is, she said she did try to come to. She probably did go to them, and they just said, "Oh, that I done been there. That ain't that's nothing. That's just marriage. You should stay. It'll be all right." Like, just belittle. Stop belittling people problems.
Right. And just because you stayed don't mean that you should have stayed. You probably should have left. The only reason he treating you right now is because he had a stroke or a heart attack, and now he has to depend on you.
Well,
diabetes say acting right. Thing ain't getting up like it used to, so
you
can't
know
go
what?
out and mess with salad like he used to back in the day.
I'm so good.
Too much starches. Oh, you already know it's aqua. Friend said, "What hue is this church?"
I was like, "What?" Yeah, it ain't.
So, friend asked, "What hue is this church?" And I said, "It's aqua."
You know, we don't write letters in the eye churches. We just shame them and talk about them behind their back.
The pastor get up there and talk about you. You sitting up in.
You end up in the sermon in our church, okay? Up there in the sermon. I'm sorry.
Sister Chastity B, we saw you last night on Snapchat.
They won't say your name, but they be like, you know, that girl that, you know, out there with her brown dress on. Good way you just posted that brown dress last night. Like everybody gonna know it's you. Dang. Maybe it's better that they sent her a letter. Maybe they at least they straight up. Okay. Let me stop.
We see you out there with your brown skirt on and you're kissing on men that ain't your man.
No, and we should have your stockings on
in your hand at the strip club with the bucket naked girls.
Gotta do with your spirit. You need to be in the spirit. It'd be a whole title.
I'd be like, let me go on. You ain't about to talk about me in my face.
That part. Moving along, we're gonna go to another topic. I'm gonna play a video of this topic.
This story has people going off online and for good reason. A father says he discovered his wife would leave their baby in the car when she ran quick errands around town. Well, he was so upset at her for leaving their child unattended. You know, like she would go to the gas station, run in, run back out. He decided to teach her a lesson by making her think the baby had been taken. So once he saw his wife crying frantically, he showed her he had the child and insisted it was all to teach her a tough lesson about the dangers of leaving a child alone. Ladies, what do you think? Was the dad, did he go too far or was he justified?
That's too far.
So did he go too far? Was he justified?
I don't think so. I don't think that he went too far. Things can happen in a split second. And they had already discussed this. He had already said that it was an issue.
Yeah.
I don't think he went too far.
I don't either. Especially if it's already been discussed. And the reel goes on to show they actually gave an example of another story that happened not that long ago where a woman went into a store really quick. Or I don't even think she went into a store. I think she just walked away from the car.
She was at a park.
Around. Yeah, and the child was gone in 2.2 seconds. So I mean, one of the girls on the reel said it. Why couldn't they just have a conversation? Like that took it too far, blah blah blah. But they did. They said they had already talked about it. She didn't take it seriously, blah blah. But what made it? At first, I was like, okay, might see why people might think it's too far. But she was gone for 6 minutes.
That's too long. A lot can happen in 6 minutes.
I was a single parent, and it was a time or two. I walked away from the car with the car door locked, and I just walked like 3 steps, and I'm like this the whole time. Never mind. I'm gonna go get my child because I'll be too scared.
Right.
6 whole minutes, bruh.
6 minutes. And I could probably like maybe understand if you lock the door. Like my car, I can lock my doors from the outside and I can get back in. And but 6 minutes? No. Like if I get out that car and they're not out the car with me, I'm like, they're here, I'm here. Like right. I can tackle you down, Bob, if you try to jump in that car.
That part. Yep, she was gone 6 minutes and the car was unlocked, which makes it even worse. I mean, yeah, I don't think he took it too far. But a lot of people on the internet was going back and forth. Hey, I think half was saying it was too much. He should be ashamed. He shouldn't play tricks, blah, blah. But it wasn't about playing a trick or just trying to play a prank or just trying to be funny. It was a lesson. Wouldn't you rather it be him that teach her this lesson than her learn for real?
Right. And I could just think about, I remember one time whenever Carter was like maybe 1 or 2 years old. And we was in the house playing hide and seek. And my front door was open, but the screen door was locked. I mean, it was shut. It wasn't locked though. And he got out of the front door and hid behind the bushes. And I did not see him get out that front door. And when I tell you, it was probably like 15 seconds that it took for me to find him. However, 15 seconds was like an hour in my mind because I had contemplated calling the police. I was like frantic, didn't know where he was at. And then he pops out the bushes like, "Hi, mommy, I win." And I was like, boy, you won, all right. But I mean, like things can happen in a split second. And he got out of that door so fast. And I felt like I was, even though I wasn't literally right there in front of the door, I felt like I was right there in front of the door and I should have seen him slip out the door and get behind the bushes. But I didn't. You know, and it's just that things can happen so quick and you just don't realize that it happens so quick. So I definitely do not feel like he went too far. I think she went too far standing in the store for 6 damn minutes with the baby in the car and the door is unlocked. Are you trying to get your child stolen?
That part. And that's where I know a lot of people probably gonna hate that I'm gonna say this comment. But if it was the other way around and that man would have left that child in the car, he would have been everything under the sun. He would have been called abandoning the child. Here go another man, especially with a black man. Here go another black man not taking his responsibility. Like, you know, it would have just been a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, but because she's a mother, and I get it. I'm a mother. We do a lot. It's a lot on our plate. We got a lot of responsibilities. I got to think about what's going on in my life and my kids' life and my husband's life and my work life and like we got a lot.
It was one child. I had two under two at one point in time. So it was always me holding a car seat like this and running after a 1-year-old that just started walking, that don't know what walking is. They just run everywhere. Trust me, I get it. However, you can't do it.
People are crazy. And people like, you know, I mean, it's crimes that happen out there where people been watching you. Somebody could have seen you did this somewhere else and be like, oh, she gonna do it again. And I've been trying to have a child for 10 years and ain't had, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know.
And I actually saw, this has been a while back, but I saw it was somebody that was like going in talking to serial killers or whatever. And they said one of the things that he said that he did was he scoped out women that would drop their kids off at daycare. And 9 times out of 10, women would leave their cars running and would
Mm-hmm.
go in and drop off their kids at daycare, and then they
I'm
come back and
guilty
they
of
get
that.
back in and they racing to get to work or whatever, and they're not paying
Mm-hmm.
attention to what's going on in the back. And that's how
Right.
he was able to attack a lot of his women, was that.
Yeah.
And
I
whenever
can
I
see
heard
that.
that, I was like, I'm one of those people. I
That's
literally
me.
used to get out the car, take my kids
Mm-hmm.
inside, we'll have whole conversations and everything. Go back
Mm-hmm.
in, get back in my car, and I'm racing to work because I'm probably already late. So
Right. She ain't no problem. No, it's not.
and I'm not looking in my back seat because
Right.
my focus is tunnel. I'm trying to get to work.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
after that, I was
It,
scared.
it happens. It happens. Vern said back in the day he took the whole car. He was to the child, car, everything. Okay. I
Everything.
know that's right. I know that's right. Fran said that's too long. She
I agree.
wild. Vern said you must be bougie. All of our screen doors squeak. I know that's right. And
I
did.
saw that, and I was sitting here trying to think. I was like, did that door squeak? I don't know if it squeaked or not.
Growing up, they did. Now houses don't even have screen doors, so it don't matter.
Mm-mm.
But
Shocked that I
yeah,
even
back
had a
then.
screen door in this day and time.
Right, that part. That part. Well, for those who have been watching or listening, let us know how y'all feel. Would y'all think the dad went too far by pulling this life lesson? Or do you think, that mama needed it, obviously, because they done talked about it numerous of times and she just, didn't pay it no. I mean, leaving your child in the car for 6 minutes, there's no explanation for that in my
Right.
mind. Period. Point
Exactly.
blank.
I agree.
Period. Point blank. All right. Next thing is this text conversation between this guy and this girl, and the comment above it says, it's too early. And she said, "Hey boo," and he said, "What's up with it?" And she said, question mark, and he said, "What?" She said, "Just say hey, I'm not a nigga." He said, "Excuse me." She said, "You dressing me like a nigga." He said, "No, I didn't. I just said, what's up? How is that addressing you like a N-word?" I don't feel right saying it again. She said, "Oh, I guess that means what's up." Yeah, that's what I said. I said, "What's up with it?" Yeah, no. And he said, "No, yeah, that's how I talk. So if it bothers you for real, you can go on about your day. Matter of fact, you can go ahead and have the day you deserve. I don't got time for no BS this morning. Stay blessed." So do you agree with him or do you agree with her?
I agree with both.
Okay, explain.
If you don't like that kind of talk, then go about your business. That's the way he talks. Honestly, I didn't see anything wrong with what he said. He said, "What's up with it?" I do that sometimes. Um, I I kind of feel like she was too sensitive.
Yeah.
But I also feel like he should have been like, okay, maybe she doesn't like this, so I can address her different in the future or whatever. I feel like so I agree with both, but I disagree with both. She was too sensitive, and he could have changed his wording and deal with what you want to deal with. If you don't like somebody that talks like that, you don't like somebody that talks like that. So go on about your business.
Go on about your business. Right. I think it all comes down to communication. I don't know how long they've been talking or whatnot, and I don't know the situation of their relationship by whatsoever. I do feel like she overreacted in the sense of how she responded to the message. So, like, what's up with it, blase, blase. At that point, honestly, that's packed. Like, trying to teach somebody how to communicate with you shouldn't be done with text messages anyway. So if either you wasn't really feeling him and didn't really care, or you could have just picked up the phone and be like, "Hey, I know that's how you talk. I understand it. I respect it. Me personally, I would love for you to be able to conversate with me like this." And then if he would have been like, "No, this is just how I talk. You just gonna have to go on about your business," that would have been different. But she already went to a place of, "Oh, you treat me like a dude," or not a dude, but a nigga. Like, it was just straight to negativity land. Like, he's supposed to automatically know and assume how she want to be talked to.
Right.
And you can't do that. Everybody don't talk the same. Everybody don't communicate the same. You could be the best communicator in the world, but how I might talk to person A, person B is not going to receive it.
Right.
So you can't
Exactly.
just jump straight to straight negativity mode and conversate over, oh, you can't talk, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. That could have just been a quick little, this is how I want to communicate. He may could have learned something from it. They could have moved on and been happy. And he would have
Right.
known, all right, I'm gonna talk to my friends like that, and I'm gonna talk to you the way you think it's supposed to be respectful. And that'd have been
Right.
it.
Right.
But you could feel the neck roll in that text.
Oh, she was, which means somebody done talked to her like a nigga before, and she thought that it was more than what it was, and it wasn't more than likely. I know. I hate for guys to call me bae and sweetheart. I hate it. If you're gonna give me a nickname, give me something that is specifically for me, and it's not something that can go across the board.
Yeah,
and it's a trigger from back whenever I was, well, I mean, I'm still out there in the dating world or whatever, but it's a trigger because I know a lot of guys, they will say bae and sweetheart to a whole bunch of people because they don't want to mix up no names.
Right.
So it's a trigger for me, and I don't like that. However, if somebody says it, I'm not gonna come off the bat like you treating me like one of them, blah blah blah, and all this kind of stuff. Like, no, I'm just gonna let you know I don't really like bae. I don't really like sweetheart and all this kind of stuff. Figure out something that's just for me, is not across the board, and we'll keep it moving. What did Vern say?
You get on my nerves. First of all, going to the comments. This is to the topic we were just discussing earlier. She's Fran said she needed to learn a lesson, and better that it was the father than the stranger. Totally agree.
I agree.
Totally agree. And then Fran said, I do that. What you referring to exactly?
She do sweetheart and bae.
Okay, pimp.
She thinks pimp, therefore she is.
Can't hate the player, hate the game. All right. Then Vern come with this. Hey, Chassie B, that sex toy hanging on your door look like it's moved over about an inch since last week. You must have used it.
I wish. I haven't. I just moved the hat off of it. There's another hat up there that was under it, but I moved the main hat off of it.
That's funny. I'm mad that he know it been moved. All right, but yeah, so yeah, I think she definitely overreacted, and she might have lost her husband.
Could have been a good man. Could have been a good man.
Ignorance.
He probably out there calling his new girlfriend back. Well, not bae. He probably giving her own little nickname. Sugar dumpling. Sweet tart.
People still use sugar dumpling.
I don't know.
You right. All right, I want to get your view on this on one more topic. We already on just one more. Good grief. I feel like I forgot.
We had a whole lot.
I know it did. Okay, so this comment says true or false. In most cases, excuse me, when a man earns money, he dreams of giving his wife the best. When a woman earns money, she feels she does not need a man. Do you feel like that's true or false?
False.
Explain.
So I feel like, I guess I kind of agree. So when a woman gets money, she doesn't feel like she needs a man, but she may still want a man. I don't need anybody that's going to come in and make my life harder. If you're going to come in and make it easy or equal to what I'm doing, then come on in. But if I'm already able to pay my bills, I can pay somebody to come mow the yard. I can go get my tires changed whenever I need to. I go get my oil changed whenever I need to. It's not necessarily that I need you. I still want you. And I think that a lot of men feel like whenever women say, I don't need you, that feels like they feel like women are attacking them. And it's not necessarily that. It's just saying, I don't need you because I don't. Just like men don't necessarily need women. Men, you can cook. You can do all that stuff. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you still want somebody You still want that comfort. You still want that security. You still want that emotional support and all that kind of stuff. And I think that people take need and throw it and make it a whole different word than what it needs to be.
Right. Yeah, I feel like both of these, I think both of these cases, I think both of these lines can be true and false.
Right.
I think it depends on the person. I don't feel like that's
That
across
too.
the board thing. I don't think that every man who earns money is doing it so he giving his wife the best. I just don't. Some people just want to be ballers, shot callers. When you know, on my Impala, I'm just saying, like, every man ain't out there grinding just for his woman.
Right.
Let's just be real. And also every woman don't, it's women out there who got plenty of money and still say they need a man. Like, I just hate blanket statements. Every person doesn't have the same desires, the same wants, the same needs. Do I feel like men and women need each other? I do feel like men and women need each other, because women can't do everything, the men can't do everything, and women need men for stuff and men need women for stuff. I do feel like we need, it's just the level of need that I have an issue with. Like you said, women are they almost treat women like it's wrong to want to be independent. That's the part that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that? What is wrong with wanting to be independent? A lot of people have a problem with this.
Like, do you want me to sit at the house? At this moment, I'm single. You want me to sit at my house and be a damsel in distress? Like, oh my gosh, I need gas. I can't get gas because there's no man in this house to put gas in my car. So I can't get to work. I can't do this. I can't do that. No, she has to be independent at some point in time in order to drive somewhere to meet you.
Right.
Or if she's not driving and she's meeting you on social network or whatever, she has to get to her job so that she can have internet and all that kind of stuff. Like, you have to have some type of independence in order to get to where you want to be.
Right. And I feel like I'm laughing at friend's comment. She said absolutely nothing wrong with the independent woman, and then she said she is me, I am her. That's facts. But I also feel like, again, and we done said this numerous times on here, like, it goes back to that old school mentality but in a new era thing. Like, we are not the women who stay at the house, who only tend to the kids, who only cook, who only clean, who iron your clothes. We ain't them women no more.
And let's be honest, society can't afford those type of women anymore. A lot.
No.
90, I ain't gonna say, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a high percentage of people. Rent is entirely too high.
Rent, mortgage, land, gas, food,
you name
like
it. So everything too high. It's entirely too high for people to be like, oh, what, the woman is gonna stay at the house. And if you're a woman that's able to stay at the house, that's great. But a lot of people, it's a struggle.
It is.
It's a struggle. No matter, I don't care what nobody says, it is a struggle for one person to just have one income and take care of a whole house.
Right. It really is. You really have to be determined, dedicated, able to sacrifice, able to save. Like, you got to be a certain type of person to stay at home and live on one person income. And you also, I mean, it take money. It take lots and lots of money. But for me personally, I don't want to have, I mean, and people say, some people feel like it's wrong to say this, but I want to be as much as a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want a man to have everything on their shoulders. I am a capable human being.
Right.
Like, I'm capable of working. I am capable of bringing in some fundage. I am capable of taking out the trash. Not that I want to. I don't know most of the time. But the point is, I'd rather be a partner, somebody who's meeting you halfway, maybe not even at least 40% of the way. Right. What is wrong with it? Like,
I don't see anything wrong with it. And I know a lot of people see things wrong with it. And some people may think of us as pick-me's because we don't feel like a man should take care of us. I just never felt that way, even though I'm independent as fuck. I will go out there and change a tire. I will figure out how to change my oil. I done put a whole thermostat in my car before. Like, I done did a whole bunch of things. But dang, I forgot the point. But I still feel like I want a man. I don't necessarily need one, but I want one. Or significant other or spouse. It could be a girl too. You never know.
On Tuesdays,
depending on the way the wind blows, I might deal with a stud. You never know.
I'm done. She done messed me out. Let's go to the comments. You got me slobbering on myself. Don't mess me all the way up. France said, IDK, not a man who can afford me to stay at home and vacate all the time. I know that's right.
Exactly.
I know that's right. Vern said, if the man does that, it is important that he continues it, and independence is a must to a degree. As both men and women needs to learn independence in case something happens. And I believe my wife will survive well as she still has the first penny she earned.
I know that's right.
That's facts.
That's
facts.
What he just said. That.
And that's a valid point. Like a lot of these women who are, staying at home. What are you gonna do if something happens where he may not be living anymore? Something traumatic may happen. He may get hurt and become, disabled. All sorts of things. I mean, there's so many stories out there about abused women. That's the reason why they stay in their marriages, because they don't work. They stay at home. They don't have any background in working. They can't get a decent job. Blase. Like, you got, life ain't perfect. Stuff gonna happen. Stuff gonna come up. You got to have some type of independence, and you got to do what's best for you. Let's quit. Let's make 2022 a year of not shaming people for being their best self.
Yes.
Quit expecting everybody to live the way you think, everybody to do what you think they want. I mean, even if it's a situation, me and Chas just had this conversation talking about friends and stuff and how we give advice and people don't listen. And we know that people only going to do what they want to do when they ready to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, a lot of people in the world say that, but then they have a tendency to look down on that person or to talk about them or to drag them through the dirt. They doing the best they can.
Right. Well,
your best is not their best. Their best is not your best. Let them be. Let them be human.
Exactly. Facts. She out here speaking. She preaching.
I'm not preaching. Amanda said, amen. I hopped on right on
time. She was out here preaching. She don't want to be preaching, but she was preaching.
I ain't preaching. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to live my best life. My best life is me doing what I need to do for me minding my business when I need to, me start worrying about everybody's situation, only worrying about myself. Even though folk gonna aggravate me, they not gonna take my energy. That's the world. That's the life I'm living right now.
I know that's right.
Time. If COVID ain't taught us nothing else, it should teach us that time is short and limited, and we need to.
Girl, because I done forgot what 2019 even looked like. I don't even know what happened in 2019.
2019 and probably about half of 2020, honestly.
And 2021, because I'll be like, it's 2022, really?
Oh, dang, it is 2022, ain't it? What happened in 2021?
See? We done lost time. I want to piggyback off of what you said about, people giving advice and all this kind of stuff, because we kind of touched on this topic whenever we was talking.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about if you have somebody that's constantly coming to you? Because I remember I said, you know what? I wash my hands of the situation. Whenever she comes back to me and she's upset crying, I'm just going to be there. And you was like, but at what point in time is too much? Is enough enough? Like,
it's enough.
So how do y'all feel like they're like, if you are somebody that has somebody that is you're constantly the person that they go to for advice? I can't talk tonight.
We tired, y'all.
If you have somebody that constantly comes to you for advice and they never listen to your advice, but they always come back, when is enough enough?
Right. And not just come back for advice, period, but come back with the same issues, situations, like repetitive, like examples. He cheating on me, and then y'all talking about it every quarter that he cheating on you when it ain't new. Like, at what point do you reach your limit?
You like, don't come to me. Don't talk to me about him. Don't
And
talk
then
to me
how do
about
you
him
communicate?
anymore.
And then number two, how do you communicate that without shunning your friend, without saying I'm not trying not to be your friend anymore? I just don't have any more. I don't have no more space for it. I don't have no more mental capacity to keep giving you this same advice that we know you're not gonna take.
You still gonna keep going back. And I don't know what else to tell you. I'm tired of telling you to go get tested every week. I'm tired of telling you to make sure you put on a condom every week. I'm tired. I don't know what else to say.
I'm tired. And I guess it ain't even the point of being tired. I guess the point is like how to communicate it without making them feel worse about themselves is my
Right.
problem. Because a lot of times we don't say nothing and then we get to a point where we just go off. And we could have literally just communicated that we tired of talking about the same BS. I've been that person who communicated a problem over and over. And I had to self-evaluate and be like, I know they got to be tired of hearing about this same. This same. But some people don't get that voice in the back of their head. Some people don't get that. They just live in it.
I mean, I remember I used to talk to y'all a lot of times, which I still do. I don't care. Y'all can get tired of me all you want to. I'm still gonna call you in the code. But but I mean, I know it was like one particular situation. I was like, you know what? Either you're gonna do something about it, or you're gonna shut up.
Or shut up. That's me. What friend say earlier, she is me, I am her. That's me. Either I'm gonna shut up or I'm out of here. Out at 3,000. Okay. Vern said, live your best life. Stop going back and forth. All right. Mm-hmm. Amanda said, we taking 2022 by storm. Okay.
I know that's right. I'm trying to be outside with pasties and socks on. That's it.
That is not the point. That was
it is
the point.
Yes, it is.
At all.
That's what I got.
I'm sorry, France. I can't. France said, just say that. I mean, you can just like people like me, you, friend, Mandy, Vern. We could say that. Some people,
I can't. I ain't gonna lie.
Excuse me. I said that wrong. Some people can take somebody saying that. Let me correct myself. Some people cannot receive that information. They just gonna take it as, oh, I'm getting on her nerves, and now she ain't my friend.
Yes.
I guess is my point.
Yes. That's true. I didn't. Yeah. That's
Some
true.
people gonna be like, oh, I'm getting on her nerves now. I thought we was friends. I guess we not. You know how we are.
We still are. I'm just tired of hearing about the fact that John ain't doing you right. And I told you to leave John alone.
That part. That part. Verse said, after the third time, I am done, as I feel like they like the life they are living and don't want anything to change. That could be correct. That could be correct. I can't. All right. So while Chassie taking a bathroom break, I don't know why she has to cut the whole video out and take the bathroom break, y'all. Y'all have to pray for her. But yeah. Keep giving advice. Tell us how to advise people on how to communicate with friends about advice on the same old. And then how do you separate yourself from the negativity or the toxic situations that somebody can put in your life? You can have somebody in your life that is a great friend. You can have good intellectual conversations with. You know, you can kind of banter with, go back and forth, be chatty, be giddy, be happy. But they go through a spell of negativity. And you like, you was in there with them at first, like, yeah, you right. Blah, blah, blah. And then you realize that it's just gonna take a toll over your energy. How you deal with those folks? Put it in the comments. While Chastity B take this long
I'm back. I'm back.
bathroom break.
I was dying over here.
I'm gonna get her a pack of pull-ups for Christmas or something.
I'm gonna be over here like this. And I'm be peeing.
I'm done.
So
I don't know if you could hear me while I was talking. We already did that.
After the third time.
Oh, see, she was so focused. She was so focused on going to the bathroom. She missed the whole comment. So I was asking, how to communicate with friends, even if they good friends, but being negative, if they not taking heed to your comments, blase. Friend comment, being honest, and tell them you still love them, and at the end, and you will support them from a distance. I mean, I guess that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
And I guess sometimes you just have to realize that everybody, even though you mean it with good intentions, they may not take it as a good intention, and hopefully they circle back around and understand that you meant it.
Hopefully they'll reflect and just, we'll be all right with it. Be all right with it. We did have one more story. Oh, hold on. Let me see what Vern said. He said, I don't allow folks to come to me with negative energy. I will walk away in a heartbeat.
I don't. I ain't gonna lie. I
don't. I jump right in most of the time, and then I realize that after we in it for a bit, this ain't healthy.
Yeah, this a little bit toxic. I'm one of those people that want to help everybody, even whenever it's toxic, and I'll be like, well, I mean, this is what we can do to figure it out, and I don't know. I'm trying to help you out, so let's get there. And then eventually it comes too much and it becomes too draining, where I'll be like, all right, this is enough. I got to figure out where to cut my line.
Right. All right, there was one more story that we had sorry y'all, that we had came across, and it was about a teenager from Illinois who was a freshman who he confessed to a crime after being bribed with McDonald's. So supposedly, the cops, the Chicago claims that the police offered him food from a fast food restaurant in exchange for a confession to a crime he did not do. Despite being wrongfully incarcerated for 2 nights in a jail cell, the boy's social media and basketball schedule was used as evidence that he did not commit the felony. So between his basketball schedule and Snapchat, they realized he was innocent. But the teenager's name is Martell Williams, and he allegedly was identified for multiple people. Excuse me, I don't know why I can't read tonight. I'm tired. Identified by multiple people as the robber that shot a dollar store clerk in the face on it says on 26th block of Grand Avenue on February 4th. It says a week before the arrest, they had released images of the suspect, poor surveillance footage, asked members of the community, blase. Believing he was the shooter, detectives apprehended Williams at the school and brought him into custody. He said he was in seminar class, and the dean came down and got him and walked him to the office. Once he got to the office, there was two police officers there. As soon as they got there, as soon as I got in, they didn't tell me nothing or say anything to me, just said that he was under arrest. And then one of the officers said, if you admit to the crimes or whatever, admit to the crimes or whatnot, you would have a meal from McDonald's and go home. So pretty much is the logistics of it. So yeah, what you think?
So I think that he was bribed with McDonald's. Is misleading because they said and go home. He wanted to go home.
He wanted to go home.
That right there was the most important part. Look why that feel. People always talk about people posting on social media, but sometimes
it be coming in through the clutch. Sometimes, okay, he's saving lives,
right? And I think that right there is a very telling part about, the fact that he had posted on social media, and that right there was his saving grace. Or
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, was it actually that he posted or somebody had posted him? I think somebody had posted him.
I think so. I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
Either
I don't
way.
know. Either way.
Either way. Yeah, it's saved him. It saved him. What also got me about the story is that the mother went to the police station and they wouldn't even let her see him. They just said they charged him, they locked him up. He was in there for 2 nights before his community was even able to learn about the charges and provide evidence of his innocence to the department. So once they knew about it, they had the evidence very quickly. But it was like they arrested him, took him away, I'm sorry, y'all, took him away, and then just, I mean, it's too many stories of this happening. When is it gonna stop?
It's not, because all people look the same. All black people look the same. All white people look the same. All Hispanics look the same. All Chinese people look the same. They look the same to people that want to blame people. And that's not always the case. Everybody doesn't look the same. That man was at a whole game. How did so many people put him at a spot and say that they know that he was the person that shot that person when he was clearly
right
15 miles away, I think, at a game, playing basketball
in a room full of people who could identify him as being at the game?
I don't understand. I know we all have what you call doppelganger, whatever, a twin.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
We all have a twin out there, but that much,
yeah,
it ain't that much of a twin.
It's not. It's not. Some people are just so intent, they just, I don't know. They just don't care. I think somebody just said that in the comment. They really just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what it is. That's what it is. Did you watch When They See Us? Is that the name of it? When They See Us?
I watched, I think, the first episode. I already knew what was going to happen. Yeah. And I knew that it was, I think at the time whenever it came out, I was like at a point where I just couldn't take any more of that type of stuff. And I refused to watch it.
Yeah. I did. I watched it. And when I tell you, it had every emotion that you can feel, you feel it. You feel anger. You feel sad. You boo-hooing. You like, it literally made me feel so big about what was going on with the police and black young boys, just black people in general, but black young boys, that I literally had to sit down my son and have a conversation with him. And I actually made him watch certain parts of it and like, make sure whatever you do not talk to the police without me. Tell them you're waiting on your parents. Tell them, like, it. So many emotions. And it's like that's not, it didn't go to that extent that When You See Us there, but it's like, it's got to be some type of illegal thing. Why are you even apprehending a teenager without a parent or guardian present
at school?
You couldn't have called the parent, let the parent get there. Like, you ain't got that much to do, bro. Like, we got to have more laws in place. We got to have more laws in place, period.
I think there are a lot of laws. I think there's a lot of loopholes in laws.
Yeah.
And there needs to be somebody that studies the loopholes so that we can fix the loopholes. Yeah. There's just so many things that just is not right.
It ain't.
With the police. Yeah. And I don't hate police. I like some police. But there are a lot of things that are in play that makes it easy for them to be on the wrong side sometimes.
Yeah.
Even when they think they're on the right side, but it's not always necessarily the case. I saw this happened a while ago, and I was listening to another podcast, but it was a video of police officers doing a no-knock warrant on a house. They do the no-knock warrant. They go in, or and they try to arrest the people. The kids, they run because they don't know what's going on. So people got arrested and all this kind of stuff. Everybody's freaking out, everything. Come to find out, the only reason that they went to that house, which had nothing wrong with it, the people that was living there had just moved in, I think like a week before or a couple of days before they went and did this no-knock warrant.
Mm-hmm.
The police rode by one day and smelled marijuana in the air, and they assumed that it was coming from that house.
Wow.
Before these
Wow.
people even moved in, they wasn't even living there then. And they
That's crazy.
smelled marijuana in the air. And so they went back and did a no-knock warrant and tried to arrest these people. And it was traumatic for them. That's something that no-knock warrants need to go away 100%. Even if it's somebody that is a murderer or somebody that done like a really big crime, if you don't know that that person is there, you don't need to do a no-knock warrant.
Right. Right.
And even if they are there, who else is in the house? And if you come and you break into people's houses, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to react.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But we are taught not to react. We are taught to put your hands up, don't say anything, don't talk back, don't.
But that didn't even work.
Yeah, they don't work all the time. And then you got people like dude who we talked about last week who went out there and just shot up in the community as a teenager with them assault weapons. He out here living his best life. It's going back and forth with you. Sorry.
Watching my mouth this week.
You watching your mouth this She insert foot last week.
Ain't gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, oh.
All right, going back. Oh, I'm sorry. Going back to the comments from earlier. I'm sorry. I missed one or two of them.
It started at Amanda.
Amanda, yeah. She said, I think it's important to realize that not all friends are meant to be in your life for the long haul. If it's time to move on and put the distance between y'all, then it's time. If it's meant to last, they will come back.
I agree 100%.
I agree with that 100% too. Sometimes it's hard to know when the time is up though. I'm that person who don't realize when the time is up. Like I almost made myself feel guilty for feeling that way. Like it's just me. Maybe I'm just in my feelings. Right. I tell myself, or maybe I'm overreacting, or maybe I should say something, or maybe I could be the good influence. I do that. It's just hard.
It's just hard.
But it's very, very true. Vern said, well, they got to want help first. I don't let folks play on my sympathy.
I agree.
Do you feel like people play on your sympathy on purpose?
On me, yes.
Just who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You think it's on purpose?
I mean, but I also think that's who they are, but I think that they know me. They know I'm a very caring and giving person. Mm-hmm. I can't give you $100, but I can give you a place to stay. I can
she will give people a place to stay. She will do it.
I'll feed you. Like, you know, and I think that people know that about me and they use it to their advantage.
Yeah, I get it. And then Vern said, Fran said she need to see the evidence. They ain't had none, obviously.
The police didn't see it either.
Stevie Wonder didn't see that evidence. Vern said, I missed it, but how old was the child? 15 years old. 15 years old. Fran said wrongly accused, they didn't care. They just wanted to pin it on somebody. All facts. Mm-hmm. And then Vern said the sad part is the ones that are supposed to enforce the laws are constantly breaking the laws. You'll be surprised at how much is swept under the rug or sealed from public. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I ain't surprised at all because I know.
Not at all. But like I said, I don't believe all cops are bad. I really don't. I honestly, people might disagree with me. I honestly feel like there's more good cops than bad cops. I just feel like it's a situation. Look, Chase, like, I don't know about that. I feel like it's just another one of those things where we hear about all the bad.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
We hear of all the bad situations. We hear about all the wrong cases. We hear about all the men who are cheating and all the women who don't cook. We hear more of those stories
And then we do the good
across
stuff.
the board, period. Then we do a good stuff. That's just
Right.
life. Because good ain't
Ain't
newsworthy,
entertaining.
ain't trending, ain't entertaining. Bad is. So I really do feel like I personally feel like there are probably more good cops than bad cops. But what they say, one spoiled apple will ruin the bunch or whatever. Like it doesn't make it fair, but that's what.
And it sucks.
What happens. It happens. Amanda said I could say a lot more, but I think I could write a whole thesis on the impact of social media and news on policing and upholding that facts.
Honey. Yes.
You preach.
I actually kind of want to touch on this, and I'm gonna briefly touch on it. I ain't gonna dive into it. So I remember whenever the George Floyd stuff was happening, and on our social media, which as I call the Black social media, we would see one narrative of things. I ended up commenting on one of my friends' posts and having a whole conversation with her in regards to the George Floyd things. And with me commenting on her page, I ended up clicking on some other people's pages, going through their pages and all this kind of stuff. I ended up going down a whole other rabbit hole of different information that was being spewed to people.
Yep.
And whenever I saw that information versus the information that we was getting, that was pretty much coming from the same sources. That's the crazy thing. It's coming from the same sources. They was just rewording the wording, and they would make it sound good for the Black people whenever they read it, and good for the white people whenever they read it, or good for the people that's for the cops and people that's against the cops. Like they was able to make the word sound so good, and I was like, this is interesting. Yeah, and I can see why people feel the way that they feel about this based off of this reading, which came from basically the same source that I got my reading from, but they changed some words around.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do know that happens, and I definitely do feel like it's wrong. I mean, I learned just in school, surprisingly, because I'm in school or whatever, and we talk about management and mispractices and things of that nature. And Facebook had a whole lawsuit against them about them doing wrong as far as pushing out negative content because it got more clickbait. Like more clickbait. So I know that it's definitely totally wrong. Where I fault people at is that they read it on Facebook and it's true.
But if it's coming from a reputable, if it comes from a reputable station, which most of the time people take news stations and reporters as people that pretty much know what they're talking about. If it comes from those people take it for what it is. They take it for the face value that it is.
Understand.
However, I agree with what you're saying. But
on research, and a lot of the time, a lot of the stuff that's shown on social media is 2.2 seconds of the whole news story. Right. They only gave you the very worst clickbaitable part. But if you actually go listen to the whole story, about 70% of the time, it ain't what you thought it was.
Right. Exactly.
But they listen to the whole 10-minute video and give you 2 minutes of it. And then it start trending, and it's on Twitter and it's on Facebook, and then everybody talking about it, and that's what it is. But I learned, especially doing this podcast, and especially us learning these news stories and me going down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what's going on. Sometimes it be so big and so deep and so wrong and so long. I just be like, we ain't even gonna talk about it.
Look, it's so loud and wrong.
It's just right. It's too much.
So loud and wrong. But yeah, I agree.
It's too
much. Sometimes we be talking about stuff, and I be like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm educated enough to talk about that.
That part. That entire part. Amanda said the social media algorithms will have you feeling 283,463 different ways. I don't know.
283,463.
Yeah, that's what she said. Different ways about the same things if you deep enough in that rabbit hole. That is
I agree.
These algorithms is a mess.
I agree. And I even So from my hometown is it's racist for the most part. I ain't gonna lie. But so they had a group there that was supposed to be for the people in the county or whatever. I joined the group for like 2 days and I had to get out of the group because number one, it was ran by somebody that was not even from my county, which was crazy. And number two, it was making me dislike people that I had no issue with. And then after I went back and like some of the people I actually had conversations with, and I understood where they was coming from, and I was like, you know what, this group is toxic and it's pushing that toxicity, whatever, out there.
I'm glad you talking worse than me tonight. Go ahead.
I don't know what's going on, but it was like pushing that out there on me and pretty much everybody else. And I was like, thank God I had sense enough to get out of the group and realize that my friends are not the problem. We can agree and disagree on things. They can be Trump fans. I can not be a Biden fan, but voted for Biden for whatever reason that I voted for him.
Right.
But we can still be friends.
Right.
I still don't like Biden and I still don't like Trump, but we still friends.
Right. Right. I mean, when I was in my younger 20s at one point, it was a trend on Facebook where they created these private groups about telling the truth about people in the town or in the county. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember exactly what they were called, but it was something. I don't remember.
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't remember exactly what they called, but it was a whole private group of people claiming that they was going to be truthful and having people sending in information about folks, and they were posting it with their name and everything. So and so slept with Brendan B. I shouldn't have said Brendan B. I didn't mean it. Scratch from the record. So and so slept with Chris. Dang, I'm terrible. So and so slept with person A and gave them herpes. And then turned around and slept with, like, it was just, the point is, it was a whole trend at one point just to make groups for negativity.
Right.
And even it was trending.
I would
request. She was on them groups. I wouldn't. I was like, as soon as I request, there's no reason to say something about me. Nope.
I'm nosy. I'm not gonna lie.
Fighting in these streets. Because they done said something about me, and then because one of the groups, the girl ended up telling people that it was her that was running the group. I don't know if you remember that. We both know her.
Oh, I think
Anywho, I ain't got time to be out here fighting people in these streets over no ignorance. This is my point.
Listen, if they say something about me, I'm be like, well, that is true. It did happen.
You out there, bye.
I don't count
Anywho. You don't. Oh Lord, don't.
We will condom. It don't count.
Please don't do that. With somebody watching, please tell her a condom do not erase your sexual encounters. Somebody, please.
It don't count. It don't count.
I'm not. Anywho, that is all our topics for tonight. I'm not messing with her. Thank y'all for tuning in. I swear this hour be going by so fast. But we have actually been an hour and 18 minutes, but we appreciate you guys so much.
Vern called you a thought.
He called your mama a thought. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it, Angela. I didn't mean it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for commenting along. We appreciate every bit of information. If you don't mind, please share us, like us, subscribe, follow, screenshot and share. I don't care. Just share us, okay? Let us know.
Screenshot.
Thank y'all for joining so much. If you ever have any topics, you ever think of a guest who we should have on, anything, any stories, if y'all want to be a guest, any of that, you can email us at occasionallyposh@gmail.com, or you can inbox either me or Chassie B about what you want to talk about and things of that nature. It's time for us to have a guest on again. So let us know if you're interested. Okay? Let us know if you're interested. Oh God. Why you have to remind me?
I guess, Amanda. I ain't making. I mean, I'll be there.
I'm calling out.
This is my face right now already. Yeah, I'm not talking about gas prices.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Somebody had told me earlier was we gonna talk about the war. I said no. Some things is
I just
just
want
you
to
just leave it
throw
alone.
my prayers out to everybody involved, and I just want to leave it at that.
That part. But
And
anywho, thank
we don't want no parts. We good.
we don't want no pause. All right, thank y'all. Thank you. If you want to be a blessed ministry, hit us up at that Cash App at occasionally money sign occasionally posh
That's
$1
gonna be
$50 $2. Y'all know y'all got that tax return. I don't get tax return, but y'all know you got the tax return. Hit us up with $1 too, okay?
get
And
$1.50.
and my birthday coming up too, okay? I'm turning 21 again. Anywho, all right, thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all next week.
We can go back 3 years, maybe. That's it. Go ahead. Run the credits.
Bye.